pull up and go ahead and look and decide on something, and I just keep getting pushed back and pushed back as far as a decision, I guess, is where I'm trying to go with that.
Okay, no, perfect. Awesome. Jessica, I'm staring at your webcam, so any way I would answer that? Anything irritates you or frustrates you on a call?
I think for me is there a growth need to get to pricing before hearing all about our facility, and then not wanting to, if they haven't been before, haven't been in a long time, especially like here in Tulsa, because we've done some major updates to our facility, wanting to make a decision without coming and having an experience.
Got it. So is the frustrating part is that if they want that, we give it to them, but yet then they might disappear on us because they never really got to experience what the heck the price is and what it included
Right.
in the experience. Yeah.
To come and actually experience the value of what I'm offering.
Yeah. So this is for my edification, Jessica. Let's say 10 people didn't want you to do all that explanation, didn't want to experience it, just wanted the price. How many of 10 actually book an event?
Well, I don't really, that's not really something that I mean, we offer every group that calls in to book, we offer them, the option to come in and tour if they haven't been or if they haven't been in a while. But that's more, what I'm talking about is more on the bigger stuff.
Okay.
Bigger contracts for large corporate events or large, school events or what have you.
Okay.
So
on those bigger ones, how many out of the bigger ones actually pull the trigger when they don't need to experience it?
Well, I've got 3 pending right now for fairly large events, like several hundred people plus, that I am struggling to get them out, and they're still in limbo, like with their committee, and I just feel so confident in our product and know that if they would just come to experience, let me provide a tour, let me provide them lunch and a brief experience in the game room, that the product would sell itself,
I'm with you. Okay. All right, cool. How about you, Matt? Anything different?
Well, I've been on the job, 24 hours now, and I'm having terrible calls coming in. I just don't know how to respond to them, so I just refer them to Jessica or Daniel or Brett or whatever name pops up. So I'm sorry I can't be more helpful there.
He's joking.
Hello, you still with me? Hello, I'm here every Friday night, 7 to 10. It's my A show. Hello, anybody there? Hello?
We're here.
Guess I'm going to have to work on my material here. You guys got to break you guys in here. Go Cardinals.
I love it.
Okay.
What about your old job? You used to do cold calls.
Oh, I used to work, yeah.
So when you do cold calls, what would you hate about the cold calls? With customers would mislead you when you thought you had a meeting, or
I was pretty straightforward with them. My biggest complaint with my customers were understanding them. I had a lot of foreigners, and I had to get them to talk slower or louder or softer. And but my pricing structure is, you could either afford what I do or you can't. So I got to the nuts and bolts pretty quick, and if I could tell a problem child, I would, it's going to cost you $4,500 up front type thing, and to see if they're still interested. And then after that, if they're still interested, we break it down. But really, I can't say that I had a lot of problems. It's just a communication thing. That's all.
Okay. Matt, help me though. I can't tell if you're facetious or not. How long have you been with IPC?
Well, I had training in Tulsa last week. I've only been in St. Louis, like I said, a day and a half. So.
Okay.
Brand new.
Couple hours on the job.
How about you, Michael? Anything that you're saying yourself like that when the prospect does that to me?
Mine would be probably, can you give me a better deal if I have 100 people versus, your minimum just 10, but I have to bring 100, I need a better deal. That would be one scenario that comes up quite often. And then one is, can you do the same price you did last year? You know, I want what I got before.
Okay. So help me for my edification. Do you have the power to negotiate and give them the price they had last year?
Yes. Not necessarily do I want to give them that.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Okay, but you have that power. It's not like you're working off of a rate sheet. You have that power.
Right. In some instances, yes.
All right. Skylar, are you still on here?
Yeah, I'm still on here.
How would you guys answer that over in your world? Anything you hear, you deal with when customers call that call center, anything that you kind of the prospect does?
I definitely want to agree with what Daniel said. You feel like you invested this time into them and they lead you on into thinking that you're going to get this sale, and then at the last minute, like, oh, sorry, psych, and then you're kind of left hanging high and dry there.
Okay. Got it. All right, so if we're looking at that screen and we see that this upfront contract thing is a mechanism by which people know exactly what's going to happen either during the meeting or when the meeting takes place, let's look at the SAMA rule. So that rule says no mutual mystification. So what that's meaning is that typically in the world of sales, prospects and customers tend to want to hold their cards close to their vest. They don't want to share everything about everything, and they tend to want to manipulate us by leading us on or asking, is the price same for 10 versus 100? Some of them really just don't know. It's a good question. Some of them are working their system. But it's our job to make sure that there's no mutual mystification between the two people. There's the crux of your upfront contract. If you don't remember anything, you guys, remember these two things. Use an upfront contract to clear the smoke, and we're constantly trying to clear the mystifications so we can say no mutual mystification. That's our goal.
This is so powerful.
So here's our elements. Whether you're
So
a note
weird.
taker and you're going to write these down, or you're just going to process them and prove training fails and goes in one ear and out the other, it's okay. Whatever your learning style. Here's what they are. Come back with me, high level, 10,000 feet. It's an upfront contract. You're going to deal with the purpose. You don't want to assume what that purpose is. You never want to assume the time. This is not necessarily any order, guys. Someone calls in, do we just go into the conversations? Or if they say, I need to get some information, you say, listen, you have a few minutes. I can ask you a couple questions. Get them to tell you what their time frame is. It's good business. It's the right thing to do. Do we really know what they're trying to accomplish and what they expect? I'm putting agenda in there, but do we really know their expectations? Are we telling them our expectations? That's going to be a big one, you guys. What are we listening for? And then what are some of the outcomes when we're done with this conversation? So some are ready in your own style. Some of you think you hit every one of them and you don't. Some of you might hit every one of them and you don't even realize you hit it. What I'm going to challenge you is, are you covering these 5 things in this upfront contract? So let's take a time out. Which one do you think in the IPC culture are we missing? Daniel, you want to go first?
Yeah, for me, as far as where I'm at, I know that number 4 primarily is what I miss when I'm talking with my customers. I never tell them my expectations.
Okay. No, I love it. I appreciate you being transparent. That's the big one that I see missed a lot. Jessica, anything different for you?
No, I would say that that's probably the one that I missed the most too.
Okay. So tell me, Jessica, stay there for me though. Tell me about your outcomes. If you go into their world or they're coming into your world and you're having that conversation, what do the outcomes sound like? Technically.
Generally good. I don't know.
Okay, my fault. I'm not asking that question right. So, Daniel, let me go back to you because I don't think I'm asking it right. So you're saying, hey, number 4 is the one that I tend to kind of miss, of sharing them what my expectations are in the call or the conversation, whatever that is, phone, face-to-face, whatever. Just name with me. So in the IPC culture, what are some of the ways people share the outcomes? Or are you looking at that and is that Greek? Go ahead, Michael. If you got a thought, go for it.
Do you say me or Daniel? Sorry. I was just going to say, most people say, I'll get back with you, and then, me typically, I'll just say to say, okay, well, can we get a firm, when will that be? Or, I got to take this back to the committee, or, some of those outcomes are what we get a lot of. It's not, I'm making the sale right now and I'm committing, right this second. So.
Yep. There's a lot of people that are going to call us. Go ahead. Sorry, Nick. Was somebody else trying to talk? I thought I heard something. Nope, it just must be feedback. Daniel, do you have a thought on that? On the outcomes part?
Not really. I'm still a little lost on the outcome portion of it. Just like what Michael just said, it comes to a point of whenever I do try to get some determination of, when I'm going to get a decision, it's a pushback. Oh, well, the committee hasn't decided yet, or they want some more time, or they're just still thinking about it. As far as an outcome, I'm lost on what you're looking for.
No, I'm glad you're staying there because that's where I want us to realize. I think that's where Jessica was I wasn't asking her that right. When I'm talking about outcomes, you guys, I'm talking about what are the outcomes up front that could happen here. So if Tim's okay, let's just time out here for a second. Let's pretend, Michael, that Michael, you play your role in IPC land, your real role, your real Michael Todd. Daniel, will you play a customer that calls Michael?
Sure.
Just run that and let's just see what that upfront conversation sounds like before you get into it. Or when do you clear smoke? And Michael, don't do anything different than you normally do. This isn't a play gotcha. Just to kind of hear what the IPC culture is, okay? So you answer the phone, Michael, like you normally would.
Incredible people, this is Michael.
Hey, Michael, I'm looking for some information for a group event that I'm looking to have.
Okay, perfect. Can I get your name?
Yeah, of course. My name is Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. Who are you with?
Well, I'm the HR manager over for Nike.
Perfect. Have you guys been in front of people before?
I think we have, but I'm not too sure. Do you have a record of that?
Yes, we would. I can take a look and see. Have you yourself been in front of people before?
I have before. We have a couple of people on my committee that would like to come to. They wanted to know the options for Incredible Pizza, so I told them I'd give you a call and find out.
Sure. How many people do you have on your committee?
I have 6 people on the committee right now.
6. Okay. Would you guys be interested in coming to take a tour of Incredible Pizza? As a committee, we'd love to have you guys come out for lunch and give you a tour.
I would have to get back with you on that because I have to make sure everybody's available to come in.
I understand. When are you looking to host this event?
I'm looking to host this event in June.
And for how many people?
We're looking to do it for about 100 to 150 people. It's an employee appreciation event.
Okay. Where have you guys gone in the past? Do you mind me asking?
I'd rather not share that.
Aren't you good?
Time out. All right, Michael, Todd, if you can see your screen, let's everybody give Michael a hand. Nice job, Michael.
Way to go, Michael!
All right. So, Daniel, this is where it might be kind of tough for you, but let's see how you feel. What are you feeling if you were really that customer? What are you feeling? Try to take Daniel's experience in IPC out of it. What are you just feeling? You can't do it.
Honestly, I feel the genuineness of him wanting to help me and get the information to get me there. He just the same way I would be, he was kind of caught up with not wanting to share the information. I had that before, and I was caught up with that.
Okay. So, I appreciate you giving him a stroke. He's done a lot of nice things there. Are you mystified in any way?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So, Tim, I'm going to default to you because it's the culture is the culture. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I like what you're going to say next. As the customer, there's really not a set... I really don't know what's going to happen next. I'm still in control. And I think this is how our typical calls go. The customer's in control at this point.
Got it.
And what you're about to do is take control of the call. So what you just heard is our typical phone call.
Yeah. So, guys, if we go back to that screen, and Michael, I'm hoping you and I can have sort of an upfront contract that you're okay being the first there doing that. You seem like a happy fellow that you're okay with that. I don't want to assume that. You okay?
I'm good. Been down this road before with you, Brent. That's okay.
All right, beautiful. That's why I love you. All right, so guys, if you look at that screen, is our purpose in place there? I don't know. Some of you might say that one of the purposes you got an event he's calling about for Nike Appreciation. Do we have the time that Daniel wants to talk about this on the phone? Probably not. We may have a little bit of what Daniel's agenda is, but we don't know what Michael's agenda is. If you really ask the prospect, what's Michael doing? They'll say, well, he's trying to get some information. And did he ask for permission to get that information, or is it assumed? In our American culture, it's kind of assumed that people call, we start asking questions, and everybody's down the road. Once they get their information, then they put us off. Can we interrupt the pattern? There's nothing wrong with what happened there. There's no and, there's no but. There's nothing wrong. I just want to challenge you, can we come outside through the side door and get into their subconscious a little bit with permission? And can Michael flash what are the couple things that will happen before Daniel hangs up? So I want you to hear that. I want you to kind of get that on your screen. Let me go to our next screen. So just to go back here to cover a few things, we'll come back to that scenario, you guys. When should you make an upfront contract? The obvious place to make an upfront contract is up front. But you're contracting all the way through your conversation. If you don't make an upfront contract, there tends to be mystification on what's going to happen. Why are you asking all these questions? Why do you feel like you got to explain? Why don't you give me the price when I want? Whatever it is, the upfront contract will solve that problem. So what I want to bring you is, we have this little cheater. I promise you, if you hang around upfront contract long enough, you guys, the upfront contract will meld or mold into a developing tool for you. But in the beginning, sometimes this ANOT acronym might help you get it started. So if you're a note taker, you're going to want to write this down. The A in ANOT stands for appreciate. The N is naturally. The O is obviously. And the T is typically. So for those of you that wrote down the 5 elements of the upfront contract, and you have a not right next to it, listen to what this might sound like. Daniel, well, thank you for calling IPC. We appreciate you thinking of us for your event. Naturally, you probably have questions. What's going on? Is the date available? Is there any new rides? Is there any new attractions? Naturally, you're going to want to know what the pricing structure is. Obviously, I'm going to want to understand a little about your event. I'm involved. What's going on? What are your expectations? So I'm going to have a bunch of questions that I'm really going to need to know before we can customize this thing for you, even if you wouldn't pick us. Because typically, a couple things will happen when we're done with this call. One is, if we both get a sense that IPC is not a fit for your event, let's just be candid with each other and tell each other that. Are you okay with that, Daniel?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah. On the other hand, Daniel, if we see or hear something that says, maybe we can take this back to the committee, let's just, you and I, have a clear next step after you talk to that committee and knows okay.
Okay.
So auto roll, guys, ANOT is just an acronym for you to execute those 5 elements of that upfront contract in a very quick, clean, fast way. It's a little elementary, but that's okay. You could literally do it with the words. Those anchor words right there on the page. I just wrote the anchor words for you. So if Daniel called in and said, hey, we want to get some information on your event, great. Let's give him a stroke right out of Bonding Report. Hey, Daniel, thanks for calling us and giving us the opportunity. We appreciate it. Naturally, you probably have questions. Obviously, I have questions, and typically we'll figure out if this is a fit or not. Are you okay with that? So, guys and gals, can you see how quick that is? No big deal. So, guys, this next thing I want to share with you is a strong upfront contract is really the tool that you can use to have the opportunity to deal with what you're really concerned about up front, or what your fear is up front, or what you're looking to avoid. You want to deal with it up front. So let's pretend what Daniel said, one of the things that bothers him earlier in this call, he says, I don't like it when people lead me on. They agree to follow up, and when I follow up, they keep pushing me back. So let's pretend that's Daniel's concerns, or that's Daniel's fear, or that's what he's looking to avoid. I'm going to bring this into the upfront contract. So Daniel, will you be my customer?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to play the IPC guy. You call me, okay? You ready? This is Incredible Pizza. Can I help you?
Hi, Brad. This is Daniel Rodriguez. I was looking for some information.
Well, great. I'd be glad to help you, Daniel. Thanks for calling IPC. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And, well, naturally, you probably have some questions that you need answers to. Obviously, I'm going to want to ask you questions about your event, Daniel, what's including the people and the theme and all that kind of stuff. And typically, a couple things will happen when we're done with this call. One is we may not find that this is a good fit for your event. Let's just be candid with each other and go with the truth. Or we might find it's the perfect place for the event. We'll figure that out together. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool. Daniel, can I share my concern before we get started?
Sure.
My concern is sometimes we have a good conversation with people in their event, they get their information, but we hang up and we don't really have a clear next step. And that's when we get into all these follow-up calls and follow-up emails. I'm sure you don't want to deal with all that. So can you and I just agree that if it is something you feel like you're going to take back to your people, that you and I can set a time in the calendar and let's call and have a communication, and you just tell me no or yes, and I'm okay with that. Are you okay with if we do that?
That's fair.
So auto roll, guys, don't hear my words. Remember, in bonding rapport, words are only 7%. Your words are never going to be like my words, I promise you. I want you to stay 10,000 feet with me. All we're trying to do get the concept of clearing smoke. So you can see where I think Michael said something about, can you give us a break between 10 versus 100 or same price as last year? You can see right there, let's say somebody called in and you knew that they were a guest last year. You could say to them, listen, can I share my concern before we get started? My concern is sometimes people who did our event a year or two ago are going to be asking for the same price, and we've just added so many attractions we can't do that. Should we talk about that right now, or can we move past that? I don't care what it is, guys. Don't hear my words. I'm going to shock somebody the way I would do it. You're going to have to figure out how you customize this in your game. So, there's your 5 elements to the upfront contract. And the upfront contract is designed for you to share your biggest concern or fear or what you're looking to avoid. So, Michael?
Yes, sir.
What are you processing when you see and hear that? What's your little boy in your brain telling you? What's the belief system saying to you? Is your bullshit meter going off?
No. It's just a matter of, like you have said, putting it in your own words to not make it sound so scripted.
Okay.
And just a change of culture.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair. Does the ANOT acronym help with that scripted feeling?
Yes.
Okay. Daniel, any thoughts? Could you have seen that maybe a time or two before? What are you thinking?
I'm taking it all in. I listened to you when I was in Springfield at the meeting, and we touched over the upfront contract, and then when we did Christina Bell, she had touched over it, but it's a lot more new information and a way to apply it for me, so I'm still taking it in.
Okay, got it. Miss Sheena, are you on here? I see Sheena's name in the green microphone, so I'm only assuming that. Sorry.
She doesn't have a mic.
That's okay. No big deal, Sheena. Jessica, any thoughts? Or you got?
I think I agree with Michael. What you say and how you do that makes a lot of sense, and it brings a lot of things into perspective. Kind of how, just like changing the culture of the phone calls, but finding the right way to do that. That's me and not Brett.
Okay. So let's reverse that. Michael, can you be a customer that calls Daniel? And Daniel, why don't you take Michael's call? So Daniel, you're playing Daniel Rodriguez, IPC guru, and Michael Todd's playing a customer. And Michael, you take it anywhere you want to go. Right? You don't have to be from hell, but just take it where you want to go.
Jeez.
Hey, Daniel, this is Little Pizza. This is Daniel. How can I help you? Hey, Daniel, this is Michael. Hey, Michael. How's it going? I'm good. How are you? I'm doing very well. How can I help you today? What's your purpose for calling today? I am needing to plan an event for a church group. For a church group. Okay, now have you guys ever been to us before, Mr. Michael? Yes. You have. Okay. Can I ask you a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish for your church group? Yes, we are celebrating the start of our Vacation Bible School. Okay, and when is this happening? June.
In June, okay. And so you're looking for information for pricing and such, correct?
Yes. All right, can you just go ahead and give me that pricing right now?
Time out, Daniel. So, Daniel, you've done this so much, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Nice job. Did you want us to give you a stroke? Everybody give Daniel a high five. Awesome.
Way to go, Daniel!
Daniel, nothing wrong with what you're doing. You're assuming something. You're assuming that he needs price. You're the one that brings up price first. You do that often, you think?
Probably.
Okay. Because you can tell it's a very natural anchor for you. You said, I'm sure you're calling about pricing. And that was your idea, not his. So again, I don't have enough on contract with you to challenge you here, so I'm assuming some things. But I love all your questions. I think they're great. All I'm challenging you to do is, can you get Michael's permission to ask him all those questions? Put the upfront contract on the side, put Brett Baker and his style on the side. Can you just ask Michael permission to ask all those questions? And then tell him what are the couple things will happen when you're done asking all those questions. So just think about that for a second. You can go ahead and answer that phone call one more time and think about that. Or do you need me to model it one more time in my way?
Let me try it out.
Okay. You answer. You started, Michael. You're the customer.
Incredible Pizza, this is Daniel. How can I help you?
Hi, Daniel. This is Michael.
Hey, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am calling you today about an event I need to plan for my church.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Michael, can I ask you a couple questions so we can move forward?
Sure.
Okay. What are you trying to plan for your church?
So time out. Time out. Time out, Danny. Don't get mad at me, okay?
Okay.
So you did what we asked you to do. You asked him permission to ask him questions, right?
Okay.
So here's the deal. I'm nitpicking you, but I'd like you to give him a stroke. You did say the word awesome, but I'd like you to give him a stroke, and the sweetest stroke sometimes is thank you. So ANOT stands for appreciate. So appreciate and call him in your own style. You did a beautiful job by asking permission to ask those questions, but when he agrees to that, then anchor it with what's going to happen when we're done. So if you don't like the word typically, so you could say, well, thanks, Michael, for calling in. Can I ask some questions about your event? Sure. Typically, a couple things will happen when I'm done. Or, because a couple things will happen when I'm done, Michael. Number one is boom, or number two, will you do this? So you're doing good, but just remember to give him a stroke. Thank him for calling IPC. Holy smokes, all our advertising is working, they're calling. You did a beautiful job. Hey, can I ask you some questions? Because a couple things will happen when we're done, or typically a couple things will happen when we're done with this call, Michael. Here's what they are. See, you're clearing smoke for Michael. You're taking control of the conversation, but he actually thinks he's in control because he's telling you yes, he wants to do that, or no, he doesn't. So can you do it? Can you do it another time? You're just like a professional athlete. We're working on a muscle here, and we're working that muscle, and we're just training fails. Adult behavior is too hard to change. You got to change it over time. So be patient with me, okay?
Okay.
Take the call again. Give him a stroke. And then ask for permission, but then anchor.
Hang on. I'm going to be a new person this time. Go ahead.
San Antonio's Incredible Pizza. This is Daniel. How can I help you?
Hi, Daniel. It's Michael Todd from Bellevue Baptist Church. I'm looking to book an event for about 100 people, and I need to get pricing from you right now.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling me. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. What was your name?
Michael?
Oh, okay. Hi, Michael. Thanks so much for calling us. Can I ask you, is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions and learn a little bit about you so we can move forward? There's a couple of ways that we can go forward, and I just want to get your permission first.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Well, Michael, how did you hear about us?
I've been there before.
Okay, you've been here before. Is this with your church, or is this with just your family?
I've been to a birthday party.
Okay, birthday party. When was the last time you came in?
Okay, so hang on. Nice job. Everybody give Daniel a hand. He did some cool things there. Nice job, Daniel.
Way to go, Daniel!
So, Daniel, what are you thinking? What's that feel like?
Rushed?
Right. So I think your questions are rushed, but go back to your upfront contract. What do you like about what you were doing there? Just take the upfront contract part. What do you like?
Well, I asked him what he was calling about. I asked him to reiterate his name. But I also got his permission to even ask the question.
Yes, yes. And you also gave him a stroke, thanked him for calling in. So what we got to realize is their upfront contracts is our chance to clear that smoke. But also, you can tell you're driving your questions like a freight train. You're giving him Chinese menu, you're giving him choices, you're just going right back and asking questions. You need to get him the one that gets emotional, not you. So can I model that for a second? Because I thought you did a great job. He was pretty strong wanting pricing, and you said, can I take a step back and give me permission to ask you some questions? That was perfect. But instead of you asking the driving question, you can say, Michael, tell me a little bit about your event. And then he's going to do all the talking. Okay? Run it one more time.
Okay. Incredible Pizza, this is Daniel. How can I help you?
Hi, Daniel. It's Michael Todd from Bellevue. I'm needing to book an event for about 100 people in June.
Awesome, Michael. Well, thanks so much for calling us. Hey, can I ask you a couple of questions so we can know how to proceed?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Michael, could you please tell me a little bit more about your event and what you're looking to accomplish?
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm bringing 100 of the kids from Vacation Bible School over to celebrate.
Okay. And so this is mainly your youth ministry, is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be the children's department.
Okay, your children's department. Okay. Now, with that, what are you guys trying to do? Have you ever been out to it before? Do you know about our attraction?
Yes, I've been there for a birthday party.
Okay, so you have been here for a birthday party before. Now, can I ask, was that within the last couple of months? Because we've done quite a bit of renovation.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
It's been about a year. Okay, well, Mr. Michael, can I ask you, are you working alone on the decision, or do you have a committee that you have to go to?
It's just me.
Just you. Okay. Well, is there any way that I could get you and maybe another member from your church to come out, lunch on me, and I'd love to take you around and show you around the facility?
All right, time out. Time out. Nice job, Daniel. Appreciate you staying there so often. Michael, what do you like what he's doing? What do you appreciate? Is there anything you like?
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's, asking me, the questions he should, and I haven't really pushed back for pricing, but yeah, I mean, he's doing there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing there.
We're really not skill practicing the conversation, guys. We're just trying to figure out where we can put in our upfront contract. So if you don't remember anything out of this, remember that upfront contract, and let me go back a few slides for your screen so you can see that A-knot. You can see where that is pretty powerful when it comes to executing a simple upfront contract. Sometimes my hunch is you guys are in this game so much every day, all day long, and you're jamming away, and you may forget the simple stroke of, thanks for calling IBC, we appreciate it. Don't be afraid to say, naturally, I need permission to ask questions. You okay with that? Yeah, sure, fire away, because obviously you're going to have questions. And typically a couple things will happen when they're done, Michael. One is if we get a sense this isn't the right place, just be candid and tell me. Or if you've been here before and you know it's the right place, let's figure out what the details got to be, and we'll help you knock your events out of the park. don't be afraid to flash the outcomes.
I think we're afraid.
Jim, do you have anything?
We're afraid to flash the outcomes. Can we role play with you and you be Incredible Pizza?
Yes. Who wants to be my customer?
Michael's a good customer. Jessica.
That's a good time to walk by. She loves it so much.
Jessica, did somebody yell before you rolled your eyes? I thought somebody said, "I'm ready." Who was that?
I did, Brett.
Who's that?
Dang. Trina.
Oh my gosh, Sabrina's the toughest cookie there. I don't know if I can handle her.
Okay.
Now, Sabrina, go ahead. This is Brett Baker with Incredible Pizza. How can I help you?
Hi, Brett. I need to get some pricing for my Girl Scout committee.
Yeah, I'd be glad to get you all the pricing you can handle. I tell you what, Sabrina, can I take a step back and ask you a couple questions about your event and what's going on? Because a couple things will happen when we're done, Sabrina, is if you get a sense or I get a sense this isn't going to be the right fit for the Girl Scouts, let's just be candid and tell each other. On the other hand, if it's the right thing, I promise you in the right time I'll get you all the pricing because we like to customize this stuff for certain groups. So just be patient with me on that. Are you cool with all that?
Absolutely.
Well, can I share my concern before we get started?
Sure.
My concern is you've never been to Incredible Pizza and you don't really know what it all has to offer. Am I wrong?
You are absolutely correct.
Okay. So I tell you what, can I ask you one of my tough questions right out of the gate?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an event for the Girl Scouts in the past couple of years?
Yes.
You mind sharing me where that's at? Where'd you have it?
We actually had it at Jumpmania.
Okay, and were you happy?
No, that's why I'm calling you.
Okay. Well, stay there for a minute, because Jumpmania, they're good people over there. And what happened? Tell me about that.
Well, we paid way too much money, and we weren't there long enough for the kids to have a good time.
Okay. How did that impact the girls in the Scout troop?
They actually really were concerned because we raised quite a bit of money, but we just weren't there long enough for what we paid for it.
Well, let's make sure, as you and I talk this through, let's make sure that the time is long enough. We'll figure that out together, okay?
Okay.
But my concern, I guess, Sabrina, was do you feel like it makes sense to give them another chance?
No, I don't think so. Not after the girls voiced their opinion. I think we're going to find somewhere new.
Okay, got it. Well, what do you need to see or hear from me so you feel like this is a good use of your call? How can I help? What do you need from me?
I just need to know what you guys cost so we can make sure to raise enough money.
Yeah, got it. Well, what do you mind sharing? Have you guys already set aside a budget that you're trying to shoot for? Do you mind sharing that with me?
Well, last time we spent about $700.
Okay. And that's where you felt like you paid too much and it wasn't enough time.
Yes.
Got it. So if you would have had enough time for the $700, would you have been happy with the attractions they had there?
Absolutely.
Okay, so really, Jumpmania was a fun event for the girls. It just it was cut short, and that's where you didn't feel like you got the value.
Yes.
Okay. So if you could wave a magic wand, what would this look like for you if you guys came into Incredible Pizza and did a bunch of the other attractions that we have?
If
What
I
would it look
could,
like? How much time is ideal?
I would say about 2 hours after they eat, and would love to stay under $500 or at $500.
Okay. But if you could get the full 2-hour maximum and including after they eat, why are you cutting a couple $100 out there? I don't understand.
Well, I like saving money and giving the girls, the option to maybe come back another time, eat, or,
All right.
something else. Those swimming.
That makes total sense. Okay. So auto roll, I don't know whether you guys cost $200 or $14,000. I have no idea. But Sabrina, what did you feel on that upfront contract? Was there any difference of a feeling for you? Were you pissed at me? Were you rolling your eyes that I was doing that? What was your gut telling you?
I think you said a lot in a very short amount of time. But, you covered everything. I don't know that if I was talking to a customer,
I know.
that's my only fear. There's a lot covered within those first few seconds, and some people, especially if they only have one agenda, which is pricing, they're not listening until you give them what they want.
But why did you not push back on me? You were too easy. Why didn't you push back on me?
Because you made it easy to talk to you.
Yeah, see, there's something about it. Sometimes people say, yeah, that's not the way the customer's going to act. But I'm telling you guys, if you do this right, sometimes they change their strategy subconsciously and they don't even know it. Daniel, what are you taking from that? You got a BS meter going off at all? What did you hear or feel in that run? Just the beginning part. I'm not talking about the middle, the beginning. I can't hear you, buddy. You're on mute. What are you feeling? Pregnant pause.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. It felt like it was more of giving the customer the control, but still maintaining the control of the conversation.
Okay, so there wasn't any blasphemy there. You weren't pissed. If you owned Incredible Pizza, you wouldn't have been pissed at that.
No.
Okay. Jessica, any thoughts?
I liked it. I like that you have control of the call, but I think it makes the customer feel like they have control and more involvement than us just asking our standard list of questions.
I like it. And I love your guys' standard list of questions, but you don't have to put them on the trial attorney stand too quickly. You can get their permission to put them on the trial attorney stand. So we'll work on that next time when it comes to paying. We're going to work on that middle part of that conversation next time. I just want to get this plan in your head. Are you using the tool to clear smoke? Michael, are you cool? Any parting shots? Any smart remarks?
I don't have anything smart to say. You've stumped me.
All right, Skylar, can you hear me? Skylar, are you there still, or are you gone?
No, I'm here. I just have my second muted.
No, that's okay. Skylar, before we jump off, is your BS meter going off? You're my favorite because you'll tell me the truth. You're thinking, feeling.
No, my DS meter isn't going off. I definitely going to take this A-Knot and try to use it the best I can. I'm kind of like Daniel was. I understand the concept of it. Just applying it and using it is a little bit different.
Yep.
It's hard.
Okay, Ruth. We got a customized target. Very cool. Natalie, any final thoughts?
Sorry, I had to take you off mute. No, I like the 5 elements. I think sticking to that, finding the 5 specific elements in a conversation and just being upfront and having that upfront contract with them is very important. Doing the strokes is something that we definitely look past. We don't do on every phone call basis. And regardless of what the phone call is about, we just need to be able to show that appreciation to the customer that they are taking the time to speak to us. Regardless if it's, even just a complaint or them just calling in to find out pricing. It's that appreciation. So I like that.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad you brought up the strokes, guys. That might be the homework for everybody. It's not just the awareness of the upfront contract. Next time we get on this call, I'd love to be able to say any victories or failures of doing any of the elements of the upfront contract. But I really challenge you that IPC becomes a master at giving strokes. Well, Bob, thanks for calling IPC. Appreciate you giving us a chance to talk this through. Let's do this. Let's take a step back. Naturally, you probably have questions. Others have questions, and typically we'll figure out if we're a fit or not. You okay with that? Give them the stroke to kick all that off. Nice. Tim, any parting shot before we hang up?
I love it. Hopefully everybody on the call sees the eye-openingness of this. I know the last couple of calls we had was sort of laying the groundwork. Now is when we actually get in the meat and potatoes. And it all starts with this A-Knot. And I would encourage you, if you have not already, please listen to the MP3 files. I listened to the one again for like the 20th time on the way up to St. Louis from Springfield. And it's like I listened to it the first time all over again, and it was talking about this A-Knot. I mean, if you obviously everybody's busy, but if you're able to take some time and learn this system, it is extremely powerful.
Guys, have a great rest of the day. Thanks for taking the time and the resources. See you at the top.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.